Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time!
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan the Machine Lyons.
I knew you were going to do that. What's up, man? I'm
dude?
lubed up and oiled up and ready to go.
I bet you are, palsy. I bet you are.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing real well today, Jordan. Will
you stop hitting your freaking keyboard?
Sorry, I'm scrolling. Sorry, I'm talking to you, but I'm also trying to do some more important things.
No. I see that.
No,
Multitask.
there's nothing more important than this podcast with you. How was your birthday?
It was good. It was pretty chill. I think we spread it out. You know, if it happens during a weekday, we go out to eat during the month, and we went to see a movie. We've already talked about that, and then
really?
Yesterday,
What one? What'd you think?
And Andrea made me a special blueberry coffee cake crumble dessert, which was amazing. So nothing crazy for the birthday, but you know that's what happens when you get older.
Yeah, 29, right? Wow.
Yeah, next year's gonna be a problem.
Real big problem. Yet, bro?
I've been going gray for a couple of years, so it's happening in the beard, it's happening in the hair, it's everywhere, man.
Hey, you know what?
Is that why you got your hair cut? Because it was getting so long and then there were these gray strands and you couldn't handle it anymore?
Actually I got my hair cut because I felt kind of bad for all my friends losing their hair and going gray when I just have this luscious, deep,
You're always
deep
thinking
brown
about
mane.
other people.
I know, I didn't want people to become envious. Speaking of envy, Jordan, we're talking about TV's top salaries in 2018 today because our patron saint, Tim Allen, happens to be on that list. Isn't that right?
He sure is. This is a Variety article that we found. We were looking at one, I think, that was 2017, but we've updated it for 2018. And between 2017 and 2018, they changed their presentation method from a simple chart to a graphic. I don't know. They'd probably call it a masterpiece. It's really hard to navigate for us.
This is nearly impossible. It is so confusing. And they have, like, circles that, like, the circle size...
They get bigger with the amount of money they make?
Yeah, it's really, really harebrained. I don't know. I think I should fire their graphics guy.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, I think they're trying to get this to blow up on Pinterest, but I don't think anyone cares that much. But we're talking about it, so...
Tim Allen is huge on Pinterest.
Yeah, they're really just like us. They're really focusing on the Tim Allen crowd. So, so let's walk through this list here. We've got like comedy stars or comedy shows, unscripted shows, dramas, and it breaks them out in between like broadcast, cable, and streaming. We don't care so much about that, but I think you wanted to point out some of the maybe craziest numbers that are on here. I think all these numbers, when we look at our Patreon, makes me think, wow, this is a lot of money per show.
Also, in comparison to my actual, work salary, it is a bit of a bummer.
A bit, yeah. So they make more in an episode than we do in like 10 years at our jobs. So
yeah,
that's cool.
For sure. Well, speak for yourself on that last one, but no, I mean
20 years for you.
Yeah, 20 years. No, I mean the big one. We want to talk about Tim Allen's salary, and that is $250,000 an episode. And
I wish you would have quizzed me. I would have thrown out. Probably just a completely random number that was nowhere near this.
You would, yeah. I'm wondering. I'm looking up right now how many episodes are in a season of Last Man Standing.
I definitely can hear you looking something up.
You know what? From time to time, there's going to be some typing. I feel like I deal with it when you do it, so I'm not sure what your drama is.
You can't hear it on my end.
Keep talking as I look this up.
All right. So, I mean, you were talking about Tim Allen. Are you going to look up like his stuff for Home Improvement?
I got it.
Is that what you're looking up? Okay.
I'm looking up the number of Last Man Standing episodes in a season. So, 22 episodes in this season. 250 times 22. We're looking at $5.5 million for a season of Last Man Standing. So that's good work if you can get it.
And if you can get it, tell me where. Are you surprised that Brad Garrett gets $100,000 per episode for single parents.
Single parents, my knowledge of that is a billboard I used to drive by on my way to work. That is all I know about that. We got the I mean, I don't know if it's surprising or not, but John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf, and Sarah Gilbert are all making $375,000 for the Connors, which, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, like, Tim Allen. I'm surprised that they're making that much more than Tim Allen, but apparently that show, people really, really wanted a post-Roseanne kind of Roseanne show, so that's a little surprising.
Murphy Brown, Candice Bergen comes in at $250 as well, right at Tim Allen's salary.
You're pissed about that. You've mentioned a couple times you don't like her.
I just don't know who's watching Murphy Brown. I just don't know.
I mean, I don't know who's watching all CBS shows, but they say it's the most watched network. So I'll take.
I would wonder how they define that stuff, because I feel like every network says that.
For sure. Yeah. I'm moving down to unscripted.
You want to get unscripted?
Yeah.
Like us? This is where we kind of come in.
Yeah, we're right below Norm Macdonald, who makes $75,000 an episode for Norm Macdonald has a Netflix show. Kevin Hart is making $500,000 for something called TKO. It's kind of scattered throughout there. The Queer Eye guys are making $7,500 an episode. They deserve a lot more. That's a really good show. If you head down,
Dwayne Johnson, Titan Games. I mean $450K.
That show looks sweet though.
It's like I've seen
Ultimate
a lot of commercials
Ninja.
for
It's like Ultimate Ninja Warrior.
Ultimate Ninja.
This will be the last section we talk about. This is where the most money is coming into play. Drama. A lot of these shows are the big money makers. This is where the movie stars are coming and making just a ton of money for weird shows on Apple TV and Amazon. Javier Bardem's going to get paid $1.2 million for an untitled series on Amazon. So we'll check back in on that. Julia Roberts.
I wonder.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say it seems like a lot of times dramas too are less episodes but longer episodes
for sure.
as well.
Yeah, it might be
maybe
like
that has something to do with it.
8. This Julia Roberts $600,000 show episode for Homecoming. I recently watched that show. It's pretty good. I think there are about 10, so that's a $6 million paycheck. And then you got Norman Reedus, Walking Dead, making $1 million an episode, and Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, $1.1 million for an untitled morning show on Apple, and then Steve Carell, $600K for the same show. So, and then so on and so forth. Elizabeth Moss, $1 million for each episode of Handmaid's Tale. Jessica Biel,
Antonio Banderas, Genius Picasso. There's a lot of shows on here I've never heard of.
I think a lot of these shows have not come out yet, like the Jessica Biel $300K Limetown. The Stranger Things kids are making $250,000 an episode. That's a lot of
$350 for some of them.
For Millie Bobby Brown, that's a lot of packs of gum and baseball cards for those kids.
I hope they've got someone in finance managing that for them.
I heard that Macaulay Culkin's parents are managing all those kids.
Oh, good, perfect. Yeah. That's gonna work well. Yeah, that's there's a lot of money obviously in this industry, and we're just riding on the coattails of it, you know.
Yeah, and not doing a very good job is what I'm learning.
If Javier Bardem would just donate 1% of his salary to our show, we'd be in a better shape. But I don't think he's going to do it. I'll send out some feelers though.
You're still kind of tight with him, or did you guys? I know you guys had a falling out.
I mean, our bond ever started when in Spanish class. You know how we had to choose a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I chose Javier for my name, and ever since then we've kind of hit it off. So
yeah, and you are a big fan of Vicky Cristina Barcelona, right?
I don't even know what those words mean.
You love that movie. It's your favorite. One of your favorite late period Woody Allen films. He's really good in that.
There's so many. There's so many.
Javier. He's great, but that's a lot of money, my man. That's a lot of money.
He'll spend it wisely, I'm sure.
But you know what? It all seems like a value compared to Judge Judy, who's pulling in about $50 million a year.
Yeah, $50 million for Judy.
I was at the gym yesterday.
Andrea loves Judge Judy.
Does she really love Judge Judy?
Unfortunately.
Oh, what a bummer.
There was a time where Andrea was like DVRing all of that stuff, and I'm glad it's ended.
You don't ever need to DVR it because it's always on.
It seems like it. She's like, I really like this one over the other one. And it's like, you shouldn't like any of them.
There's like so many. If you turn on the TV at about 1 p.m. on a weekday, there are so many different judges that you've never heard of. There's obviously Judge Judy, infamous. You got Judge Joe Brown, Judge Alex. there's like 50 other judges, and
they all got a little different flair, So you gotta have a unique unique show for each of them. So they've got their own audiences.
Yeah, I don't think that the audiences are real different, but I think if you sit down between 11 and 3, you can just watch different judges for every hour.
You can get your legal knowledge in right there.
They call that the judge block. No, I was watching Judge Judy, not really watching it, but I was on the treadmill at the gym yesterday, and Judge Judy was on, and there was this woman, and she had her little dog in the court with her, and I kind of wish the sound was on because I bet there was some interesting stuff going on. Maybe Andrea saw it. You can ask her.
Yeah, I'll have to ask. From what I saw when I was watching a little bit of Judge Judy with Andrea, she's real mean, and I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't take crap from anybody. She's kind of a jerk. Yeah, a little bit. I think sometimes warranted, but other times just being a jerk. But that's why I like the other judge shows better. Judge Joe Brown, he's a nice guy. He knows the law. Oh yeah, I mean, he can get a little bit frisky too, though.
I don't know. I think he's just in it to have a good time.
What's your take on Judge Alex?
You don't want to go there.
Yeah, I actually probably shouldn't go down that rabbit hole either because not so kind words for Judge Alex.
All right, you know what we do have kind words for?
Don't be so sure that I have kind words about Oh Brother. Okay.
Episode 113, Oh Brother, written by Ruth Bennett. Last did Her Cheatin' Mind, where Tim caught Jill trying to cheat on her with... What was that guy's name? That little twerp.
Myron? No, I don't know.
Not right, but close enough.
I'm confusing him with Sinbad and Jingle All the Way. That's Myron.
Okay. Myron? Well, easy mix up. This one aired January 9th, 1996, so we've moved into the next year, and it's time for alternative titles.
Yeah, I have 4.
We got 3. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'll start with this one. Something's fishy.
I got a fish one for you. The Fishwasher.
Okay, my next one is more like Fishwasher.
Good for us. Oh, brother, get out now.
Oh, brother, get out. That's pretty good. All right. Stop and smell the rosewood.
That's good. I like that one.
And then my last one. Or do you have
I got one more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's terrible, but brotherly shoves.
Not so bad. Last one for me.
Thanks.
Bros before cable shows.
Well done,
Not
Adam.
bad this week.
No, better than the episode for sure.
Hey, I'm not going to tip my hat this early. I want people listening to the very... Sometimes people listen to the episodes and we say what we thought of the episodes early on and they just turn it off because there's no drama.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think people are coming to Home Impodcast for the drama.
I don't know. That's not what I heard.
All right. Well, let's open on Tool Time. They're kind of post-disaster here, so we kind of missed out on whatever was going on.
Yeah, they don't. They've never done that before. It's kind of interesting. I mean, nothing came of it, but it was anytime anything new happens on Home Improvement, it's always a little jarring.
We noticed. Yep. We noticed what was going on there. They're moving on to a new segment, which is the Resourceful Tool Man, where they talk about how men are resourceful, and they head into
aptly named.
Aptly named. You know exactly what you're getting with that one. They head into the kitchen, and they've got like a whole cabinet set here and a kitchen set. I wondered if they borrowed this from Irma's set, but I didn't remember what her set looked like. I had the
exact same note. Let's just assume they did.
All right, good. And they're, when you don't have a clean knife to cut your cheese, what do you do, Adam?
You head up to the bathroom and you grab the dental floss.
Wow. And, Al demonstrates that it probably doesn't work very well because I don't know if you noticed the cheese that he cuts. It's pretty sad, and he kind of screws up the second time. So it's not cheese that I want. That's what I'll say.
I actually kind of thought that it looked like it worked pretty well.
Well, you weren't watching close enough.
I was watching in HD, so yeah, I think I probably saw it.
You're probably watching on Daily Motion again, knowing you.
No, we got Hulu back. I mean, it's whether it works or not, it's just sort of gross. I mean,
yeah, I don't want it. I don't know. The joke in this is that if your wife hasn't cut the knife or cleaned the knife, then you have to find some alternative instead of cleaning the knife yourself. I think you just clean the knife yourself.
That's what Al says, but Tim, he doesn't buy it.
Yeah, well, you know what Tim is also interested in?
Cutting the cheese.
Well, but if you don't have a stove, he says, no problem. I've got a big piece of salmon here that we can just cook right in the dishwasher. Also
this was
disgusting.
This is so... I mean, obviously, like, the fish is fake, and so is the guts afterwards, but really nasty.
Ugh. So, yeah, they open the dishwasher. You're supposed to wash it on a dry cycle, apparently, and Tim, multiple times in this episode, goes against that knowledge for no apparent reason, and it doesn't work out well. Fish explodes.
It's inexplicable. He just continues to choose different options besides dry cycle. It's weird. It's almost like it's like for the plot or something. I don't know.
It's a really good plot point, I tell you what.
Yeah, this was a really good... When this is your like B plot in an episode, you're in good shape. You know you're in for a doozy.
Mm-hmm. At home, I thought the B plot was Randy's haircut, but...
B plot is Brad's new girlfriend. C plot is fish in the dishwasher and Randy's haircut. Next scene, we cut to home. Randy's walking in, and he has kind of spiky gelled hair. This was a hot look in the 90s. I don't really know why they're making fun of it, because literally, like, everybody had a haircut like this.
Yeah, I think for him it's just very different because both him and Brad have had this long, shaggy hair that didn't have any product in it, but now it looks like he could cut someone with his hair.
He looks just like Aaron Carter, and I know because I went to an Aaron Carter concert, so I have an authority.
This is Randy's party.
Hey, Randy's party, come get it. Did you notice in this scene they're both wearing the baggiest sweaters? They're like, Brad's sweater is probably got to be 3 to 4 sizes too big. It's great. It's very, very nice.
Randy's looks very itchy as well, so I hope he has something underneath it. But Brad comes down, and he's making fun of his brother's new haircut. We also learned that Brad is very excited for school tomorrow. And Jill's like...
he tells everybody, like literally every single person.
Well, Jill is kind of excited initially because she's like, oh, it's so glad that you like school now, instead of throwing brick through, greenhouses or whatever you used to do. Just Brick Tamlin.
Singular brick, yeah, Brick Tamlin.
Just throw him right through the window. Angela... No, he's more interested in a new girl, and that's Angela Lawson. And we're going to get a lot of Angela, if I recall.
Yeah, you recall correctly.
Okay, good. Well, I thought you might have some information, but I guess when she comes on the scene... We'll wait till she actually shows up.
Cool.
Tim comes home, and Marty is on the phone. There's a couple of jokes in this episode where Brad wants to be on the phone all the time, and that is very much a 90s problem because he would have his own cell phone now. They have this conversation, Tim and Marty on the phone, which only happens in TV shows where somehow Marty unloads all this information in less than a second, and Tim comprehends it and is like, oh, you lost your job? Oh, no, what happens? Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. It was like, that's a 45-minute conversation in real life. I mean, you're getting a lot more detail than just like that, he lost his job. But, Marty's looking to cut to the chase because he needs a new job quickly. He's got twins. So he does have twins. He's got twins he was ready to walk out on. Yeah, he was... If
Tim didn't answer with like a solution, he was just going to leave. Go start a new life. Marty lost his job at the sports department store. I think that's where he was working last. Who knows? Marty seems to always be getting new jobs.
Bit of a deadbeat, if you ask me.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where we're at with this. And Brad tries to rush Tim off the phone. He wants to talk to Angela, and he tries to play it off like Angela would be able to really sympathize with Brad and his sadness at his uncle losing his job.
Yeah.
Great scene.
Good stuff. Next scene, Tim is again trying the fish in the dishwasher to the same effect. He picks up the remains of the fish and puts it in a cup. Around the same time, Marty arrives, and Tim offers him the fish in a cup.
He's just wasting money,
Yeah, fish is not cheap.
No, and that salmon that they had earlier, that was a big piece of salmon.
Huge piece of salmon, Jordan. I think that Vulture article should have referenced this as evidence that Tim Allen is not a middle-class working hero. Look at all the fish he bought in that episode.
I don't know what mackerel's going for nowadays, but it's definitely not something I'm throwing in the dishwasher.
That's for sure. Marty comes in. We don't get a lot more information on why he lost his job other than he probably just kind of sucked at it. But he already had an interview at a new place, And the interviewer said he reminded him of his nephew, so much so that he went ahead and hired his nephew, I guess. There's a lot of bad jokes in this episode. I'm not going to try to act like a lot of this episode worked at all, because it didn't. He then says a joke that I don't really get. He said, there are so many doors being slammed in his face that he should get a door stopper.
Yeah, I guess to make sure he doesn't get hit in the face again.
Yeah, but is he like going door to door and asking for work? Or I don't understand. I mean, I understand what that means, but I don't understand why doors are getting, literally slammed in his face. And
it'd be funny if he's getting all these interviews, and then as he leaves, they just slam the door in his face. They're like, "We hate you so much." They're not. We'll let you know in a couple days. No, they just slammed the door in his face.
He's just knocking on doors in Detroit. Hey, it's me, Marty from Chicago, and looking for a job. Maybe you could help me out.
Got any openings?
Got any openings? No. Deep dish. So Tim offers him a job building their new set on Tool Time. There's only 3 people working on this. Tim, Al, and Marty. And that's all you need. And Marty's very excited. Jill comes down and Tim mentions it to her, and she instantly knows it's a bad idea. You just can't work with your siblings, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until this episode, so I'm glad I watched it. I was going to hire all 3 of my brothers right now. I've worked with my brothers for my dad. I don't remember it being this much of a problem, but maybe as you get older and everyone's more set in their ways and want to do it their way, that's a problem. I don't know. But Tim and Marty, they think this is a great idea. They start reminiscing about an old business that they had when they were younger. Not a lemonade stand, but a lube and oil stand. Maybe they were... When
you said that you were all lubed up at the beginning of this episode, were you referencing that?
No. I was just talking about how I put on some other stuff. No, I was mentioning.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
It's a good joke, Adam. Did you write this episode?
Yeah, sometimes when they came up with those baggy sweaters, that's a script note I'd come up with. That's for sure.
And the pointy hair stuff. On set,
that's for sure.
Al and Tim are looking at the new blueprints for the new set. Al says they've come a long way. Tool Time is starting to take off, so I guess this is continuing that storyline of expanding to different markets and Bud investing more into Tool Time. I don't know why Bud isn't hiring other people to help.
I know, yeah.
I mean...
Al mentions later unpaid overtime.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a way to save money.
I guess so. It would... all the stuff that they do on location, I'm surprised they didn't do this as a show, for Tool Time.
Yeah.
Building a set, building a lot of stuff. But they don't. Marty shows up. He's a little late because there was no parking space labeled to him. And at this point, you're just like...
What is this all about?
Marty, you're fired.
Are you kidding? This is the least believable. I know that they have to start things off on the wrong foot just to keep it moving, but this was the least believable. Him coming in and expecting this parking spot. Nobody would expect that in real life. Nobody.
No.
You have your own parking spot at work because you work at home.
That's right. Oh, I don't even have one there.
And you've labeled it. You have an aluminum sign.
I actually have to park out in the road because there's just not enough room here with all of our cars. But
oh my gosh.
No, but I've never really had a parking space. I don't know that this is really a thing that happens unless you're the CEO.
Executives or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Al doesn't even get one, so why should Marty? But, like you said, they just have to have a conflict to start here. And Marty continues to shuffle things up. Like I said, Al doesn't have a parking spot, and so he says, oh, I got an idea. You can alternate with Al. Marty and Tim are, I don't know, I guess confident in their ability to make this work, even though both of their wives said that this was a bad idea. And that's the end of that scene.
Yeah. Jordan, you're skipping a really important
what did I skip?
Marty's critical of the rosewood. Stop and smell the rosewood.
Oh, that's the next. That's the next scene.
No, Jordan, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't think so. But anyways, he's critical of the rosewood. Marty's an environmentalist, and the bickering is just. it just continues on. And then the next scene, Tim is watching Marty over his shoulder as he paints.
Maybe you were confused because they did back-to-back-to-back scenes of this stuff, and you were like, they couldn't possibly do another scene. But they did. And like you were saying, Marty is like very, I don't know, as someone who I think I know how to paint a little bit, from doing it for...
He's doing a bad job.
He's just like splashing it everywhere, and Tim says he's glopping, and yeah, he definitely is, and he doesn't seem to care. I mean, shouldn't you be grateful to your brother to give you a job? But
Yeah, he comes in immediately, with just kind of a chip on his shoulder.
He's so millennial right now.
Go on.
Well, I thought millennials were just bad workers and entitled and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that people, generation that has to do unpaid internships and doesn't have like retirement guaranteed and so on would have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. It's kind of strange. Student loans have helped everybody out. It's really it's good to be a part of this generation. Sure. Anyways, Marty, he's not open to feedback or criticism. And I understand that's your brother, but he's the one hired. Like, he's the boss, man. You gotta get with it.
He was just talking about how many doors he got slammed in his face.
I know, he's about to get one more.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a tool time door.
Yeah, and you don't want that. That's a big door.
It's a sliding garage door. It comes down.
Yeah, well, I think it actually opens in the middle.
Either way.
It looks like it would hurt. Anyway, we move on. It's not going well at tool time. At home, Mark and Randy are coming to the window because Brad is coming home with his new girlfriend, Angela, and they are very impressed.
Everybody in this episode thinks that Angela is very attractive.
Very attractive. If Mark is saying it, Mark... First of all...
This is the first time Mark's been sexualized.
I was going to say, this is the first time we've seen Mark in like 5 episodes, I'm pretty sure. But he's got a couple of lines here and makes himself known. Jill is even impressed, as you said, everyone is. And Brad and Angela come in. She just moved to town, and Angela's got a lot to say. So she's a very fast talker.
And I've got a lot to say about her, and I'm going to jump in with her bio.
All right, here we go.
Angela is played by Kristen Clayton. 6 credits to her name. Best known for A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and Home Improvement.
Wow, she made it through 2 of those? Well, maybe she didn't make it out of the second one.
Well, she plays a little girl in both. Maybe she is... here's what I'm guessing, and you can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong, because I know that you probably have watched these more than I have. But, they'll sometimes cut to like a dreamscape where there's 2 girls playing hopscotch and jump roping in front of the old house, and they sing the 1-2 Freddy's Coming For You song. I think she might have been one of them. Does that sound right to you?
Possibly, but you said I've watched those more than you. I've never seen.
Yeah, I've
never seen them.
But Jordan, I know that. Come on, play along. Good God, of course, I know you have it.
She plays both girls. Does she? Is she credited for both?
No, but I think they're like twin girls, and it doesn't matter. Home Improvement was this is her last work in the industry. She is in 1, 2, 3. She's only in 5 episodes, ranging from Oh Brother to The Feminine Mistake.
I feel like I remember her quite a bit, so 5 episodes, I guess, is a surprise. But maybe I remember. Isn't Angela the name of what's his name? Hunter in Boy Meets World, his girlfriend?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just mixing all of the Angelas up.
You're conflating
Angela with Angela. She talks really fast. They head upstairs for homework. And then Randy does a really spot-on impression of her talking very quickly. Jill loves it.
It's like the Valley Girl kind of speak of the mid-90s. It's like essentially Clueless, the movie, is... That's what this is. Like, it's a lot of like and that.
Cross with chipmunk speed, maybe?
Yeah, in her case, definitely. She is really... Her ability to do it is pretty impressive. I don't know that it would be that easy.
I would definitely fumble over my words.
She can ramble.
Yeah, so...
that is true.
Tim comes in, asks, how'd it go... Or he says how'd it go with Marty, and kind of admits defeat, and says he complained all day, and it's not going to work, and Jill, you are right. But Jill says at this point, you can't make it work, you have to make it work, you can't fire him. So I'm not sure, what her angle is, Why is she wanting to torture her husband? I don't know. Angela comes down, meets Tim, does her thing where she talks really fast again, and kind of, craps on Jill for having root beer in the fridge. I don't know why, but she does.
Well,
and
her mom doesn't like her to have. Her mom doesn't like her to have artificial sweetener.
Is her mom the same mom as Curtis?
That would be cool. Yeah, she's like Curtis's cousin.
I wish.
It would be cool if Curtis came back. That guy was funny.
Yeah, I miss him.
He stole scenes. He's a scene stealer.
He was only one episode, right?
Maybe two.
Tim, is there supposed to be a joke here where Tim just says she's cute and he's supposed to say more? I don't get it. They were like lingering on Jill, like there was some sort of joke and I didn't understand.
My memory of it is, it got a big laugh. I don't really know why. He basically, like, she doesn't introduce herself. She, like, says hi to him at the end. Then he says, like, Brad's girlfriend? Mm-hmm. She's cute. And then, like, everybody laughs. So I guess we're just supposed to think it's so funny that everybody just really thinks she's attractive. A little strange, maybe. I don't know.
Outside, we're gonna.
I wouldn't say anything in response to that either. I don't know.
Outside, we're gonna talk more about this and try to figure it out. And while we do that, we're gonna play a clip with Wilson.
Let's do it.
Wilson? Well, howdy ho, neighbor.
What are you doing?
Tim, I'm practicing hurling.
Try some of Jill's meatloaf, you'll become an expert.
No, Tim. Hurling is an ancient Irish sport. It's quite akin to field hockey.
Speaking of kin, I hired my brother Marty to work with me at Tool Time, and ever since he's been there, he's been driving me crazy. He thinks I'm bossing him around. I think he's just a pain in the butt. I might have to fire him.
You know, Tim, I'm reminded of the story of Romulus and Remus. Huh? They're two brothers who were abandoned at birth and nursed by a she-wolf.
Sounds like the story of Al and Cal Borland.
See, Romulus and Remus were very close until they decided to work together by building a city.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, Romulus was the boss, and he wanted things done his way, and Remus disagreed with him, and that angered Romulus. So instead of working things out, you know what he did?
I'd fire him.
No, he killed him.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I guess when you're raised by a wolf, you lack certain social skills.
No, Tim, the point is, if Romulus hadn't have been so rash and tried to meet his brother halfway, they might have been able to patch things up.
I see. I should try to meet Marty halfway.
There you go.
Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I'd love to sit and talk, but I got an 8-pound sturgeon in the dishwasher.
Jordan, Wilson is hurling, which is a Celtic sport similar to field hockey. I did a little bit of research, and it turns out very old. Wilson doesn't seem like he's very good at it because he can only bounce. It's like he's like bouncing a ball on a stick. He can only do it like 2 times in a row.
And it's
I feel like I could do it
only going like a foot in the
6.
air too, you know?
Yeah, he's not, Earl Hindman, he's a heck of an actor, not a skilled athlete.
Well,
though.
He's practicing. That's why he's practicing. He wants to get better.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta get better. Tim clues him in on the conflict between him and Marty. And Wilson references Romulus and Remus, which are, of course, 2 cities in Michigan, as well as some sort of what do we call this?
Folklore.
Mythology?
Mm-hmm.
Folklore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they were brothers, and they were very close until they built a city together, and then one of the brothers killed the other brother, and that's that. And you know what? They wish they would have come to a agreement and met halfway. It's kind of half baked. Like the connection doesn't really work.
Yeah, I bet you Remus really wished that they would have met halfway after getting murdered by his brother.
Yeah, I know, but like that's not part of the story, right? Like there's no part at the end where like Remus is like doing a voiceover and he's like, "Man, I tell you what, I wish we could have met halfway. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ended up dead. Really sucks."
Yeah, it's kind of shoehorned in here. So I'm not that.
You ever been to Romulus or Remus, Michigan?
No, the only familiarity that I have with Romulus is they used to have a pretty good basketball team every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so when we would go to the high school like semifinals in East Lansing for basketball, they were there every once in a while. But that's
it's
all.
It's weird that they're not that close to each other because Remus is like outside of Mount Pleasant. I'll drive past it sometimes when I'm driving to visit my uncle, and it's kind of Amish country a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's weird that these 2 cities exist in Michigan and are about 150 miles apart. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of that, really. That's just great investigative work by you, though.
Yeah, well, you come to this podcast for facts. And I'm
people want the trivia and people want behind the scenes footage and content that we give them, and this is it.
I read recently that podcasts were for nerds until Sarah Koenig released Serial, and
she's popularized
I'm just kind of trying to build on that. So,
well, you're doing a great job.
I'd say podcasts were for nerds until Home Impodcast came out and kind of went mainstream.
Mainstream is right. You know, you're building off of Sarah Koenig's success. You know who's also building some successes here?
I mean, Marty really isn't.
Yeah,
I suppose that's what you want me to say.
Yeah, that's what I want you to say. And we're at the set in the next scene where Marty is there early, presumably to quit. He wants to chat.
Presumed dead.
He's trying to get out before Tim kills him based on that story.
He offed himself on set, the ultimate screw you.
Oh, man. So, he wants to chat with Tim and says he's quitting. Marty is so irredeemable. We're going to talk about this, but, man, he's just a brutal character in most of the series. And, Tim wants everything, he wants to quit, and Tim is trying to work it out a little bit, come to a little bit of a compromise after that conversation with Wilson. And Marty's kind of having none of it and starts saying, like, no, I can't work with you. You want everything your way. Marty says, I have other brothers that I can bum off of, basically. And they work down the line of those brothers, and it turns out that they would all get their help from Tim anyway. So he doesn't really.
It's funny that Tim is the most successful brother.
He sure
is. Like 5.
He's got a great cable show. There is a trivia note on IMDb saying that the brother Rick that they mentioned actually does not exist in other episodes. So Ruth did not do her research as far as the home improvement world building is concerned.
I know, it's weird that happens so much. It's in a lot of shows where like they'll have like brothers that are referenced early on, and then like you never see them because there's an Uncle Steve I think mentioned in like season 1 or 2 of Home Improvement. And I'm not sure that comes back. I don't know. It seems like consistency wouldn't be that hard, but for whatever reason it is. Tim telling Marty that he can't afford to quit. A little bit of a low blow, maybe. I don't know. I guess it's true, but harsh.
I guess he's trying to help him. I don't know. Marty doesn't seem like he can hold down a job, get a job. My whole problem with Marty in this episode is he is just not grateful at all. And and so that comes across in this scene just as much as the other ones. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of a soft spot for Marty or anything he says or anything that Tim says to him that shouldn't have been said. So
yeah. Next scene. Harry's Hardware. Harry's got a new stash.
It's looking good.
Yeah, kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, cool. Stashes are kind of coming back now, aren't they?
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know. I thought they came back like 10 years ago, and so maybe it's waned and it's already back up again. I can't really do anything with that, so I try not to pay attention because it just makes me feel bad.
I'm sorry to bring it up.
Sensitive subject. Marty's looking at the classifieds because he needs a job because he just quit his last one. Tim walks in and they have a real juvenile fight, and but it is fun because Tim says to infinity and beyond.
Hilarious! What a great nod to
what a clever wink. The only thing more clever would be if he was like, Marty, you couldn't even work in a toy store. Just really good like Easter eggs like that, Yeah. They start throwing things back and forth at each other. Harry is angered, rightfully so.
Harry kind of waits a few seconds though. He lets him get a couple of things in before
Marty
really
whips.
Breaking it up.
I don't know what it was, but Marty like whips. It looked like a ball towards Tim's face. Like he threw that really hard.
Do you think maybe there was a little bit of animosity on the set behind the scenes?
I don't know. I heard Marty's a method actor. So he's probably being a pain in the ass all the time. Backstage, he's like complaining to the kids that they are eating too much of craft services and so on.
I thought he was just mad because he knew how much Tim was making per episode, and he thought since he's essential to the show, he should be getting a little bit.
You mean to tell me you had the #1 movie, the #1 book, and the #1 TV show on the same day?
And so he just starts throwing things. He's lucky that he didn't throw like an axe or something.
Yeah, I tell you what. They are about to get kicked out by Harry, and this is some of the dumbest. I mean, like this episode really sucks in my opinion, and it's a really dumb conclusion to a dumb episode. But they start to both kind of talk about the various places they've been kicked out of. And they both have been kicked out of girls' locker rooms. And that is just kind of all it takes to sort of bring them back together when they are able to sort of just recognize, wow, we've both been kicked out of a lot of places. So I guess that we are close friends and brothers and we should get along. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sucks.
They say, like, they realize they've gone too far this time or something. As you said, the apologies come out, and they kind of make an agreement that they're not going to work together, but Tim does offer a sort of olive branch saying, hey, what do you think about construction? And I can't imagine Marty on a construction site, really, but...
It's not just any construction site. It's with the K&B boys.
Yeah. Pete might throw him off one of those high beams or something.
That would be me.
Yeah, so they leave to grab a beer at Big Mike's, where maybe Marty will hide around the corner when Tim is there and try to escape. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Before they go there, Tim has to go home because he has another fish in the dishwasher.
I'm so glad you brought that up, man.
Yeah,
I almost forgot.
Dangling thread. Final scene, Jordan, and this is what the whole episode's been building towards. And to say it's a letdown would be an understatement. All right, we got a new set. It doesn't really look very different. There are built-ins throughout. There's a section on sports. They really linger on the fishing thing. Did you notice that? It almost, I don't know if it was
fishing.
A flub or something. Yeah, they're showing sports, and the camera goes to the fishing section, and Tim doesn't say anything. It's awkward. I think it was poorly edited or something.
I don't know. They moved to the armed forces, and the audience doesn't know if they should laugh or not, which I thought was kind of strange.
Hey man, that's a sensitive subject, especially in '96. What are we going through there as a nation? Is that
nothing?
I guess that's post Iran Contra and Persian Gulf, so maybe it's a good time. I don't know. We get Tim and Al have various photos of themselves. There's a visual gag of Al with his mother, who's a very, very large woman kind of standing over a small child. It's okay. There's a...
But the whole point of this redesign
is
the modular design.
Go on.
Yeah, so Heidi goes over and turns everything on a swivel. Like you said, there is a bookshelf with all these tool-type books. And Tim makes some jokes like David Copperpipe and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I wrote them all down.
Good.
We got David Copperpipe, Stainless Steel Magnolias, and A Tale of Two, and I can't read what I wrote. Starships? Starshed?
Who cares?
No, I don't know.
Who cares?
It's something.
Perhaps the only cool area... I guess
the piece de resistance, you know?
Yeah, the new interview area, which kind of comes out of the wall and opens up. It's got kind of a bar type, I don't know, ambiance to it, and
what's the you guys hear about this show, the Home Impodcast?
And they do sit down for an interview like they would on the Tonight Show, and there's a weird flipper sex joke that Tim.
Yeah, bestiality. Nothing funnier than that.
Yeah, you just never know when it's going to pop out in this episode or in this series, and the set kind of starts retracting into the wall, and Al gets caught, and he's stuck in there, and he dies.
Yeah, you guys want to come to my garage? Roll credits fade to black. Oh, brother. Jordan, a nickel for your thoughts.
Bad, terrible, awful.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, this is one of the worst ones we've covered in a while.
Yeah, I was trying to think, like, this season's been pretty good. Like, almost every episode has been at least average or above. Yeah. And this is really awful. I don't know that there's anything that I like in the whole episode, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I really ever laughed. Marty... The Marty character they don't do anything to make him likable. It's hard to think that they want you to just completely dislike a character, but what have we gotten from Marty? He wanted to bail on his wife who had young kids. He can't hold down a job. He just gets mad. He just fights with people all the time. He's just not it's just not a well-rounded character by any means. And I don't, and yet he's in a ton of episodes, and he's going to be in quite a few more. So I'm just not sure what we're supposed to do with that.
Yeah, like you said, there's nothing in this episode that makes you want to like him at all.
You don't ever feel bad for him because he's just such a jerk the whole time. Like,
yeah, you totally understand why you can't hold down a job. So if that's what they're trying to tell us, they do a good job of that. But other than that,
go ahead. Sorry.
The fish in the dishwasher joke that keeps happening over and over makes no sense. Like, he's been told how to do this, and for some reason he just wants to keep trying different settings to see if they would work. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that the stove works at home at the Taylor house.
Yeah,
so don't know what he's getting at. Maybe he's just using that beeper that he got from Al. Is that the joke? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You get a new character, Angela. That's fine, I guess. I don't know. And Randy spiky hair, that was something else too, but not a great one. I think it's definitely going to probably be in both of our bottom 3 for the season. I would almost guarantee it.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Like, even the Wilson scene it doesn't really make a ton of sense.
Doesn't make sense because what he says isn't really like. He tells this story of Romulus and Remus, which is grounded in reality, and then he's like, "Yeah, if they could have just come to an agreement, that wouldn't have happened." Well, it's like that's not what happened. It did happen, I don't know. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm not gonna. Never mind. I was gonna go down a rabbit hole. Not gonna do it.
I don't know. I like rabbit holes.
I don't think you'd like this one. Let's head to the social media corner.
All right, Sean's social media corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeimpodcast.com. You can find us at facebook.com/homeimpodcast, Twitter, we're at homeimpodcast. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/homeimpodcast. And that is where we also post every single month a bonus episode. In November, we did Rush Hour, just a great episode, and we'll have a preview of that coming out in the next few days or so you can get an idea of that. If you support us for $5 or more a month, you will have access to episodes like that. Adam?
Yes?
What's going on Twitter?
2 polls this week. Call me Adam 2 polls. What's your favorite... Don't call me that, please. Bag of you. First question. What's your favorite Christmas television special? I think I did this because on Tuesday I tuned in to CBS's airing of Rudolph, so it was kind of on my mind. 14 total votes. 0% said Garfield Christmas. Doesn't surprise me. I kind of just needed
I didn't even really know what that was.
Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty good. Garfield goes to like his grandma's house, and she's kind of cranky, but he finds some old love letters, and it's necessary Christmas viewing in my opinion. 21% said Frosty the Snowman, 29% said Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and 50% said Charlie Brown Christmas. What would you pick of those 4?
Give me Charlie Brown Christmas every time.
Likewise, it's pretty special.
Yeah, and it's just, it's got staying power. It's been there forever, it seems like.
Yeah, the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown. 13 total votes. Next poll. Do you do Christmas lights outside your home/residence? 13 total votes. 38% no, 62% yes.
Very festive this time.
I did a Home and Podcast live of this episode. So that's up there.
Wow. Was there anything special said in that, or were you just kind of bashing on the episode like we did?
I would say nothing special was said, nor was I really bashing on the episode. So I'm not going to say it's necessary viewing, if I'm being honest. Time is valuable. Otherwise, you got a special birthday shout-out, Jordan, from
oh my gosh.
At Saginaw Cheese. Happy birthday, Jordan the Machine Lyons. So, you got to love that.
Yeah, you were gracious and solicited birthday wishes from our fans, so that was very appreciated. Made me feel special on my 29th birthday, so thank you for that.
You're very welcome. That's about it. So follow us on Twitter. Be a part of the fun.
Be a part of the fun. We have no new reviews, so I'm going to put a call out to our many, many new fans and growing fan base and say, if you haven't left a review on iTunes or your favorite podcasting app, you should do that, because we like to read them on air, and whether they're good or bad, we talk about them. So I'm looking for some new reviews. We've got 31 right now. Can we get to 35? Is that what you can get us for Christmas?
That would be great. With December rolling around, Yeah, if we could get 4 additional iTunes reviews, I don't even care if they have comments on them. You can just click the number of stars that you want. 35, 4 more over the next month. That is our challenge to you, our listeners. That would be spectacular. Hey, better than any stocking stuffers, I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you that. And I will say, as we're talking about hashtag Home Impodcast Christmas here.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned that you got one of my packages, and I got one of your packages. So the plot thickens as we get closer and closer to revealing what are in these packages. And you still got one more coming, and I think I still got one more coming, right?
Yeah, that would be correct. And I'm fired up. I don't know when your second one's going to come because maybe it came from some sort of shady sources, but it'll come when it comes. Might be pretty close to recording date. Let's just say I couldn't get any quick shipping, if that gives you any idea of where it's coming from, what it is. So no, I'm fired up, man.
All right, well, I'm excited to open them. I'm not gonna shake them or anything because I just don't want to ruin any surprise.
Yeah, don't, because extremely breakable. I got you a home improvement set of dishes.
Collectible, baby.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's something to look forward to. Is there anything else you want to share before we move to the question of the week?
No, I would just, again, please, any iTunes reviews, questions as well. We haven't had any questions in a while, so. And then, get excited for I'll Be Home for Christmas. I got it coming via Milwaukee Public Library system. I'm going to have them unlock the disc before I leave so I can watch it no problem. It's going to be easy peasy.
Yeah, you've had some problems with that in the past. At least your library gives you that stuff. We don't get that, so I'm pretty bummed out. But yeah, no interlibrary loans unless they're books.
That's crazy. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in St. Cloud.
I'd write a letter.
Sure, I could do that. Yeah. I had to go in the other day to renew my membership. They were going to cancel it on me.
Wow. Stones on those guys.
I think that's regular practice over there. Yeah. Anyways, question of the week. It is my turn. Terrible episode, so not a lot I could think of, and maybe you won't have a story for this, but I was wondering, Adam, who was your first girlfriend? And if you could tell any stories related to that, I'd love to hear them.
Okay, first girlfriend. Okay, I think it was like 5th grade, and it was a girl by the name, 5th grade girlfriend is like whatever, I don't know, but I think it was Kelsey Strait was her name. She did graduate with us. I don't remember much about it, but, it lasted, it could have lasted a day or it could have been a month, I don't really remember. I had a couple girlfriends in 5th grade, as I recall. Playa.
Big year for you.
That assuredly slowed down as I grew older. But 5th grade, I was living large. Yeah, Cal State. I think she went to University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, so she went on to do good things. So good for her. I take responsibility for that, definitely.
Yeah, you definitely pushed her in that direction. I'm sure.
For sure. I think after our relationship, she just maybe hit the books more. Jordan, you had a lot of girlfriends in school.
I did?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I don't feel like you were ever single, so I'd love to be regaled with some of your. I know you used to go to a lot of singing competitions, but I think that was a little later on. So
that was a little later on. The first girlfriend that I had was also in 5th grade. So
big year for both of us. I'll tell you what happens in 5th grade, Jordan.
You go to intermediate school.
Exactly right. Everybody goes from their separate elementary schools. We got Seiple, Hill, Gates, Central. We all meet in the middle at Han Intermediate, and Sparks flew.
Sparks flew. You're right on the cusp of puberty there, so you got all sorts of feelings and hormones going around. And I believe Allison Lechner was instrumental in getting Katie Fenner and I together for. Yeah, it was a relationship. It's one of those really good relationships where I don't think we ever
talked to one another.
We never talked to one another, and I don't think we ever hung out while we dated. And I think that maybe lasted for about a week.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Not a lot of good moments or memories with Katie, but she was a fantastic girl.
I rode the bus with her.
One of the best girlfriends I've ever had.
Oh God, yikes! Throwing shade. I rode the bus with her. She had horses. It's a shame you couldn't get over and ride them.
Oh man! Yeah. I went to your house for the horses.
Well, I didn't. Those weren't really mine, but sure
they were
close.
Next door.
Yeah, they were close. Wow, Katie Fenner and Kelsey Straight. Blast from the past. Hey, ladies, if you're listening, let us know. That would be so funny.
That would be great. Maybe they have more memories of those days than we do. I doubt it.
I'll tell you what,
all
ladies love a Box City mayor. That's all I'll tell you.
They also love a Box City banker, so that's perfect.
Power. That's
power, baby.
Just
money
like
and
Wall
power,
Street.
influence.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Absolutely.
What do we cover next week, Jordan?
It's going to get, we're talking a little bit about school here. It's going to be High School Confidential.
Interesting. I like the sounds of that. Brad's going to be getting pretty hormonal here. So let's, Randy won't be the only Randy one on the show, if you know what I'm saying. And with that, I think we should call it a week. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. Take care, everybody.
Take care.